Welcome to this week's version of Nichols and Dimes, our weekly video series. The quote of the week this week is one that we hear all the time. I've heard since I can remember. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. And that really shows up in so many areas of life, but specifically with investing, it is very critical. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a concept known as sequence of returns. That is, when you earn the return you do and in what time frame in your life. So for example, it is critically important when you are nearing retirement that you have a preservation of capital strategy in place or a protection of capital strategy in place. Why? Because most people, when they're nearing or in retirement, they're using their portfolio to generate income to supplement things like Social Security and a pension. Of course, conversely, when you're younger, you're not taking in income from your portfolio, so your portfolio is more in growth mode because again, you have a long time horizon and you have earned income to supplement or pay for your expenses. So again, sequence of returns is critically important. In other words, the rate of return that you earn when you're nearing or in the beginning years of your retirement could make a tremendous difference in the sustainability of your retirement and the likelihood of retirement success. So let's look at two examples. So on the left-hand side here, we have the time frame of 2000 to 2019, and these are the actual returns of the S&P 500. We used a $500,000 starting balance, and let's assume this person withdrew $30,000 each year over the last 19 years, meaning from 2000 to 2019 again. And this $500,000 portfolio was invested in the S&P 500, and here are the actual returns. For example, we all remember the dot-com bust when the market was down 9%, 11%, 22%. So if you fast forward here, the $500,000, again, assuming that $30,000 withdrawal rate grew, in fact, it actually lost down the road. The account balance was down to $64,000. Again, using the actual returns in that time period. Okay, so that person started, let's call it retirement, with 3 negative years. Big problem. They did not likely have a sell discipline and did not likely focus on hedging strategies, okay, to protect their money. The person on the right here, in this hypothetical, and all we did, by the way, we used the actual returns in the S&P over the last 19 years, but flip-flopped them. So in other words, we used, at the end of this hypothetical, we put the dot-com years at the end of this analysis and the actual 2019 returns at the beginning. So again, investor 2 or retiree 2 started with the same $500,000, withdrew $30,000 each year over the last 19 years, and you can see that investor 2 started their portfolio in retirement with a positive rate of return. Again, this is probably a little extreme of 31% return, but the point I want to illustrate is look how much more money and how much better this person did because they had a solid return, at least in their first year. And again, their second year they were down a little bit, but the important point here is they had so much more money over the long run. Okay, and you could see, again, that $500,000 with the same scenario, pulling out $30,000 each year, equated to an ending balance of around $781,000. Okay, so here's the point, okay, and this is critical. The average return in each of these scenarios was still 7.68%. But the ending balance in scenario 2 was significantly more, about $800,000 more than scenario 1. Why? Because the investor in scenario 2 had better returns at the beginning of their retirement life cycle. So all this to say is that when you're nearing retirement, within and what I mean by nearing is within 3 to 5 years of retirement, you should start thinking about preservation of wealth, preserving your capital. You should ideally have a sell discipline and hedging strategy is in place because you want to protect your capital. Again, because the first few years when you start withdrawing money, those are the critical years. We need to make sure that your money is preserved, hedged again, versus the previous 30 or 40 years when you're accumulating growth. Okay, and then obviously, ideally, we need to get generate a good return, especially at the beginning. It's very, very, very important. So to that end, if you would like a second opinion to determine if your portfolio is suitable when you're entering retirement, and even if you've just started retirement, or if you are retired, you could send me an email at cnichols@nicholswealth.com or go on our website at nicholswealth.com to learn more. In the meantime, thank you again for watching. And don't forget, timing is everything. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.